Back, we are back. Happy Friday, guys. On your way in, please make sure you hit that like button, and also on your way in, if you have not done so already, please make sure you hit that subscribe.
Hello?
He froze up.
I think so, yeah.
All right. Ronnie froze up. He'll come back. But hey, welcome, guys. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you guys. Hey, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button, and also hit the notification bell because we do go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, as we always do, as you always see us here as a pack. But hey, man, let's introduce you guys. What's going on, Hakeem? How you doing today? How you feeling?
I'm blessed, man. What about you, brother?
Hey, man, same over here, man. I can't complain, man. I cannot complain. Let's go. Let's get it. But yeah, like I said, Ronnie's having technical difficulties, but he'll be back. So why not? We're gonna get right into the topic today. So today's topic, we're gonna talk a little bit about ourselves as Black men. And today's topic is about Black fathers and Black role models. Why they are important in the Black community. I figure this is something that definitely we need to talk about. We do have, we definitely gonna talk about role models out there that we have, from teachers to coaches, and also legitimate Black fathers who are in their children's lives, or, or who's a single father or who's in a family, those are the pillars that are very, very important, that builds our community and everything. Because, like I said, Black men are very highly important in our community, very, very important. And so that's something we're gonna talk about, and we're gonna chop it to you guys, chop it up. So we got a couple of videos for you guys we're gonna play, and after that, we're gonna get right into it. Go ahead, Hakeem.
No problem, my brother.
The village is heard often in Mylou as people called on the community to help in changing things for the better. And right now, 2 men are looking for a few good men to set the example to inspire young Black men.
They are 2 men looking to brighten a dim situation.
Letting our light shine, that way other people's lights can shine.
They want more men to shine with them.
We can't do it alone.
And join their campaign.
We just need our men to step up and start being more selfless instead of selfish.
Arnell Brooks and Albert Harold believe a lack of strong Black male role models is a growing concern.
Guys that make sure we stayed on our stuff, we don't have that anymore.
Leading to community issues.
I've seen kids, get killed due to gun violence. I've seen, the robberies. I've seen all of these things.
In hopes of providing a detour,
Well, now we have to figure out, how do I get this next kid not to go down that road?
they're holding Dudes, Dads, and Donuts, an outreach program that'll take place at U City High School on Saturday, April the 1st.
Why not put that burden and put this together so these guys can have somebody that you can look up to on a positive side?
Real conversations will be had.
I'm not gonna judge you. I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna give you some positive feedback. You may not want to hear it, but it's gonna be something that you need.
Accountability will be stressed.
It's about character. It's about doing the right thing, being a good person.
Some people you just need to stay kicking, because as soon as you let off, then they veer off, and you're like, no, get back on that road.
They see this as a way to give today's youth a roadmap to success.
Letting them know that they are champions and that they're the only them that's ever gonna live on this earth.
Bringing these guys back to where they should be, where we are respecting women, where we are respecting our parents, where we are back in school getting our education.
So that we can see the violence decrease and so we can see the academics increase.
Brooks and Harold say their mission is just beginning.
It's gonna come, and this community is gonna be a great community.
And they are committed to seeing it through.
Whether I do it alone or whether I do it with an army of folks, it's gonna get done.
If you would like to take part in Dudes, Dads, and Donuts, it takes place at University City High School on Saturday and goes from 9 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Black men are in their children's lives more than any other men and spend more time with their children than any other man, right? That's a known fact, right? There are many great Black fathers, and the problem is that Black fatherhood is not heralded at all. Black fatherhood is known as like an enemy. That's the baby daddy. Shout out to Kendrick. He made that beautiful song, Daddy Issues, right? Men don't know how to become men, right? Because they never had a father in their household that taught them how to deal with those emotions. Wait a minute, son. This is how you go through this process. You look at your father, and this is the mountain that you must climb. You're supposed to grow your son, not to be like you, but to be better than you. That's the journey of a good father.
But there you go. Those are a couple of videos you want to play, about, Black fatherhood and Black role models out there. Definitely important to our community, and we're definitely going to chop it up. So I'm going to start with you, Ronnie. What's your take about Black fatherhood or Black role models, and how important are they in our community, the pillars of our community? Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry for earlier. I don't know what happened. My screen just went black. Yeah, of course, I'm not a father yet, but I have many mentors who teach me and coach me on the importance of fatherhood. One issue in that, especially in the Black community, we don't highly advocate for good fathers. We mostly focus more on the bad ones than actually the one that's actually in their kids' lives. They're not mostly promoted. They mostly promote more toxicity of a bad father. So, quote unquote, they would say. So my whole aspect of that is, I think it's very important. It's very important for Black fatherhood to the one that's actually doing the job, their duty as a father, to be in to be promoted more. Uh, Studies does show that majority of the time Black fathers are in their kids' life. Oprah already made a clearness of that. You guys should look it up in the data if you want to. You can actually look on the data how most of. Hey, United, check your IG, man. We send you the link, man. Yeah. So that's pretty much what it is. So go ahead, Hakeem. I'll let you dwell into that.
Oh no, definitely. We all know the statistics and how a kid who grows in a house with a two-parent household does better than one without. And I think this is a conversation that needs to be had just in general. Fathers are needed, but particularly where we are disenfranchised with the amount of fathers that are not in here, in a lot of kids' home. And then on top of that, the red pill has made it even a negative thing to become a father. And I'm not talking about, I'm talking about in the aspect of not to come into meeting a woman and taking care of a child that's not yours. So this thing is very multifaceted, and we're going to tackle this to try to understand what's the most important, the next generation, or trying to feed a narrative that just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Because right now we can't say you have a community without having a family and fathers and mothers in the home.
Yeah, Ken, you kind of took my flavor on that red pill, what they be doing, but I'm gonna explain a little further, because you 100% facts about the red pill community. Once the red pill community came out and said, hey, don't date, mothers that would, don't date a baby mother, it's not good for anything, and a lot of people took that, and a lot of people still taking that. But the thing is about it, it's like it's okay, to date somebody that's, that has, date a baby mama that has one kid or multiple kids, if you want to be like their a role model, or maybe a future follow to them. Because back in the day in my community, also in my family, there's especially for me, there was my father wasn't there at the time. There was a guy who's who I call him as a father figure. He passed away in 2005, and he was a big role model, even though I wasn't his son. And but that that still kind of shaped me in a way, but see what a positive father looks like, or a male role model looks like, to that, and also with my brother as well, with his father, he's been there. And it's to me, it's highly important, us to continue to do that. Because what's going on, Nidus? Good to have you on, baby. Good to have you on.
It was good.
But yeah,
Be on. Can y'all hear
good to
me?
be on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
All
now
right.
go live on your channel as well. You can simulcast.
Yeah, if you want to.
It's on all right. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, but yeah, we do have male role models in the community. We mostly that relates to sports. How we have coaches from basketball, highly basketball and football players who are help impact black kids and to black teenagers, and help them make the right decisions in life, not just for sports, but making them right decisions in life as well. And how does the world views you as a black man, especially in America? Yes, and teachers, used to be pastors, but pastors, they don't do that like they used to. I don't know why pastors are not doing that. But yeah, it's very vital that we need in our community, and and really, and it just I continue to shout them out as well, because what Ronnie said, shout out how great fathers are doing well within children's lives, and also black role models who are making an impact in their community. We don't talk about that more. I feel like we need to talk about that more and everything. So I think it's highly important. But yeah, but not as the topic for today is were black fathers and black role models, how they are importance and pillars in our community. So what's your take on it?
No, before you go, let me get a proper introduction. It's an honor.
Oh, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
It's an honor and pleasure to have Nidus here. He's actually a new YouTuber. We come from a space where we talk about issues, talk about other issues. So, guys, it's an honor and a pleasure to have Nidus on the panel. I was supposed to have one more person, but unfortunately, I'm not feeling well, so he will probably be with us next week. But Nidus, you already know it's a pleasure, man.
Thank you.
Radio family, man. I really appreciate you, homie.
No problem.
Well, go ahead.
Now, what did you say again? The resilience of fathers?
Yes, or black role models as well.
I'm gonna have to listen a little bit longer. I'm not sure exactly where y'all going.
You'll probably replay the clip for him so you can see it.
Yeah, replay the 19 Keys one.
Black men are in their children's lives more than any other men, and spend more time with their children than any other man, right? That's a known fact, right? There are many great black fathers, and the problem is that black fatherhood is not heralded at all. Black fatherhood is known as like an enemy. That's the baby daddy. Shout out to Kendrick. He made that beautiful song, Daddy Issues, right? Men don't know how to become men, right? Because they never had a father in their household that taught them how to deal with those emotions. Wait a minute, son, this is how you go through this process. You look at your father, and this is the mountain that you must climb. You're supposed to grow your son, not to be like you, but to be better than you. That's the journey of a good father.
There you go, Nice. Do you kind of get the concept of where 19 Keys were coming from?
Yeah. When I listen to 19 Keys, a lot of time he says like inspirational stuff. And I do know, some dads, but when I really look at the community, I just think men in general are gone. If they're not like locked up, murdered, all the stuff that's happening. So the ones that are there, shout out to them, and they got to be super strong. And you can hear when you talk to them, it seems like they're going through a lot because and I think it goes both ways, but I think black men got a lot on their plate trying to be fathers, and especially the way fatherhood is being described now, that you got to be Atlas, right? You got to have a whole world on your shoulders. And is that person that you with understanding that you got all these things against you because you're automatically dealing in this racist society, being told you're a thug or this or that, and you got to try to swing the pendulum to prove that when you walk in the room that I'm not coming to cause no harm or danger. So I think it's a whole lot. And if you can actually be that father and be that pillar, yeah, you should be celebrated for that. But I don't think we even acknowledge those people. It's like a thankless job.
But Nidus, what do you think? What is the issue for them not acknowledge like the good fathers? Because you come from an era like in the 60s, from the 70s. So you've seen the transition of fatherhood to what it is now. So what you can see that what is the problem in that? Go ahead.
I think as people, we were more together in past times, right? And now we're way more individualistic. But to me, the 2000s right now, like a couple years ago, it reminded me a lot of what the 80s was like, because they called the 80s the me era, right? It was all me, the rappers with the big chains and everything else. So it was all this stuff we was looking up to. So when I think about now, it's like a repeat of that. So it's back to that individualism again. And then in the 80s, they had all them commercials that was, the guy was saying, I got mine, you need to get yours too. I think we back to that. And that's why I said it the other day, it's like we can only have one Highlander. If it's a stand-up comedian, it can only be one. If it's a rapper, it can only be one. Everything we do is almost like rap battles. It can only be one on the top. If somebody else is like climbing up, they're trying to knock the feet from up under them. So I think it's the infighting that could be the issue. But yeah, if somebody is actually taking on that challenge, that is a serious challenge. Like CeeLo said, you know, my heroes had a heart to live their life out on a limb. Messing around in these relationships, when you listen to these spaces, you're a brave man, because they're going to call you a simp and a sucker and everything but something positive. So, and I think that's why it doesn't get highlighted, because it's looked at as like, so what? That's what you're supposed to do. If you're a father and you're doing what you're supposed to do, and you actually can take care of the family, you can actually let your wife stay at home, which to me is heroic shit. No, that what the father gets is that's what you're supposed to do. So that's why it's not highlighted. And then you can't get some actual men that's doing it, and they've took the pills, so they even say, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. So, you know, I'm not supposed to get celebrated for this. Well, you knocking yourself up against the wall. How can we celebrate you when you're saying, no, I don't want no credit at all? So when you taught your son how to play football, then he gets there where he's going to be a professional. He goes, thanks, Mom. You knocked your own self from, you said you don't need no thanks. So I think it's a double-edged sword, and it's us doing it to us always. Men doing it to men.
Hey, you're right about that, Nas. I think it's highly important to make sure we acknowledge, you know, good things about Black fathers. And I want to get a shout out to, you know, to the Hall of Fame speech when D. Wade said about, how his father was a big, deep impact to his, to his life and everything. He brought him up on stage and he gave him, a whole lot of praises, and just to say, hey, the ways, we in the Hall of Fame. That's stuff like that just missing. What you just
Yeah,
said,
it's
now that's
rare.
exactly, that's highly rare in our community, and we definitely need that more, because you see other races, they have fathers, and now that's probably God might be the first thing, and then the second might be the father.
And then the other thing is this: when I think about stepfathers, the only person I can think of high acclaim that gave any praise to his stepfather was Shaq. I can't think of nobody else. And how long ago was that? So we don't put no shine on our brothers and celebrate them like that. So when 19 Keys says that, he is rare in saying that. And that should be sad. That I had a show the other day about the people who take care of everybody, but when something happened to them, nobody takes care of them. So there's plenty of fathers like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get old and tired, and then they're displaced. They're in some home, and the kids ain't even coming to check on them. When you look at even our leaders, they talk about Martin Luther King, but then they start talking about he has a scandal with messing with other women. So if he couldn't be good to his wife, then what good is he at all, period? That's what that B. Simone said about him. So it doesn't matter how heroic or how great a man you are. If you're a brother, it's an asterisk by your name to cut down your greatness, to make you
Sugar made a comment, which I kind of agree with. Like, when men talk about topics like these, especially about Black fathers, it seems like men start crying. So especially when it comes to this community, especially when it comes to certain Black women, they do look as men when we talk about issues of fatherhood. They seem that we are crying. You kind of understand what's the point of them doing that nightish, and how can you?
I think it's hilarious because they're the first one to say you can be vulnerable with me. Why don't you be vulnerable with me? Then they're the first ones to supposedly mess with the so-called LGBTQ, but then their first weapon to throw at you is that you're a suspect. Which one is it, ladies? You down with the LGBTQ? So how is that an insult? And second, do you want us to be vulnerable and honest, or just shut up and take it?
He's laughing. She already know. Go ahead, I can't.
I love that you say that, brother, and I want to come from this standpoint. We have a very archaic ideology on how men's supposed to be and how we are portrayed in society. This is why when we talking about if a man is valued, we do not get as much value as we supposed to. On Father's Day, they still honor mothers. You see what I'm trying to say? And a lot of people say it's a selfless job because, you know what I mean, there's not enough people talking about it. We're talking about it today. We won't get half as much as views if we was talking about black mothers or black women. Because the problem is the way society view black men and the way society view black men in general and black fathers at that. You know what I mean? When somebody goes to the NFL, when somebody goes to the NBA, it's a lot of fathers involved. They never get spoken about. You know what I mean? Cam Newton, his dad was very much in his life. He's the reason he became a success story, but we don't hear that much about him. So I think it takes us, as far as the generation of people and our beloved women to come with us to honor your men, to put them in the forefront, to start speaking about the people who's putting in the work, who's doing this, and for us to not to attach ourselves with things that are not beneficial to the image of us and the image of being men. The Minister Farrakhan talks about this all the time. And another thing is too, you can't be a father without God in your life.
That's
Well,
true.
at least
And
you
I
get
think
the big piece of chicken.
the chicken thigh.
No, Johnny, you were gonna say something. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think, and I was explaining another problem too, and how how black women, they might sleep with a man that's maybe that's not the best father, and then they get pregnant by them, and then once they have the baby, they'll talk bad about it. You know what I'm saying? They would talk nonstop bad. Your father ain't this, your father ain't that, and just speaking venom until all the way to the toddlers, to the kid, to the toddler kids, preteens, teens, and high school, and just spit venom and venom and venom about that, and it's like a cycle too. It's like a cycle of generation how how our black women speak bad about their babies' fathers, and especially in our race, we're just the worst at it. The deadly worst at it. And for that, I don't know how that's going to get better. I definitely know how it's going to get better unless women talks good about black men, black fathers, and black role models.
Or we could do it. You might not get as many views, but Sugar Bum said, "Who should be promoting black fathers? Black fathers,
Facts.
men who plan to be fathers, young men who've had mentors and people in their life that are men. So your football coach, he coached you all them years. You should be promoting him. You should be saying this is a good man. Every time there's somebody saying it ain't no good man, it should be all these people who's actually been actively dealt with by that man, them saying it. Like me, I don't like to say I did anything. I would prefer the people I actually did the stuff for come along and say, well, that's not his character. This is who he is. This is what he's done. Like we hear Charleston White say, I did such and such with kids and this and that and that. And that. It doesn't matter that he says it. What would be amazing, testimonial saying, no, I know Charleston White in real life. He got me out of jail. He gave us backpacks. He gave us these laptops. He did this. He did that. So, and then another thing that happens is people see me on these YouTube streets joking and playing, and they think, okay, so that's him. No, that's an aspect of me. That's a piece of me. So I got 70-some videos. It's all laughing and joking. No. And then when you have these kind of shows, if you don't structure them properly and don't lead them properly, it doesn't matter what your theme is. At some point, it's going to get into the roast and whatever else, and it's going to go left, especially if you don't have it controlled like this. Other shows, the topic could be about, financial literacy. And then somebody come up there because they got a problem with somebody from another panel they was on. They come in hot. Then them two start getting at it. And it's okay for a moment, but it takes you completely off of what the subject is. So yeah, men that have been helped by men, women who have been helped by men, women who had good fathers, people who've had experiences with these people should be promoting these people. If your father was good to you and you're a woman, you should be on here celebrating that. I have a story I told on my channel the other day about when I was a younger man and I was in my grandmother's house, and we had came out of the cold and was this man on a mantle in a military outfit. And I was like, who was that man? And my aunts and uncles and everybody turned around and said, that's your grandfather. Now, in hindsight, thinking about it, they said that's my grandfather, like I'm just supposed to know. The man passed away before I was even born. But everything we were in, we saying this is grandma's house. No, he bought all that stuff. Multiple homes, some of their homes. Now, after talking to them over years later on, I found that, okay, so this is like a heroic person. His name was Lead Belly, his nickname. He was fighting with the Klan. He went to the military. We did all this heroic shit. And I had to ask about him when I saw this picture on the mantle. So, no, these men do this John Henry type stuff where they going up against the steam machine and they just go on about life, and they don't even get mentioned. And if you don't ask, you'll never know.
I love that you said that, brother, because it speaks to a greater volume on how men's voices are suppressed. We do not have an outlet to voice. And you also point out something which is great, which, it's funny that you use that dichotomy of Charleston White, because I've heard him said that, and he has actual documentation, but there's nobody who he have helped has even came to even vouch for him. You know what I mean? To say that he's done this and that, and he's done this and that. So it is imperative that you say that it does take the women, the children, to come out and say that this man accepted me with me and my kids, and he has been a wonderful father. And he has been here and has been a staple. That's the important part of it.
And now, go ahead, I can't.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say not only that, but this is a bigger point when it comes to our community as well. We also have stepfathers who also come into the role, take on responsibility of another man's child, but him himself don't even get respected by the woman that he's with because of the simple fact she said he's not the biological father. And I think that's the issue we especially have within the Black community. You would wonder why the father's not in home, because they don't get respected as much as they truly deserve. Because I know many fathers who have stepped into the role as stepfathers get spit on later by the woman or go ahead, Nigel. Your thoughts on that, on stepfathers.
Yeah, I said that. That's a heroic job because he's about to be called all kind of simps and suckers and marks, and it is about how those people that he helped look at him though, because we have too many stories of he's being disrespected by the woman and by the kids. So I'm not gonna call you. I'm gonna call you Steve, not Mr. Whatever. I'm gonna call you like you my age or something. I don't have to listen to you. And then you have, well, it's a whole lot, but it's the men though. It's the men doing it. When like I say, the actual fathers who've actually done all this stuff don't want to, take no credit for it because they think it's a selfless job. Then it's a thankless job also once you really think about it, because those people should be acknowledging you, not when they get 100 years old and you've done everything while you're actively doing it. People want people to be heroic figures just for the fuck of it. Be Superman, jump in front of that bullet and fire, and we supposed to do it because it's women and children first, right? So they have their story where they stand on, it's like the color purple, and we're all Mister. We just these violent monsters that want to dictate, run things. But now flip it the other way around. This man is breaking himself, going to work every day. Some of them don't hardly even see their kids because they're trying to keep these dollars together. That's what I saw in the 80s, 90s. A man working from cane to cane, making just enough money to maintain his house. Why should he be left alone? I thought a family was supposed to be like a business. If you need me there because you also need the father there, then it should be some shared responsibilities. But some people just go, oh, no, he can do it. I see a lot of, people go, here's 50 cents. I want a car. Well, you a man. That's the mentality. Figure it out. And I'm going to rest because I am the table and all the other good shit. I try to avoid this stuff because I don't want to say nothing about these queens. Y'all win, ladies.
Daddy's just like me, ladies, man. I get you. I'm with you too. So, go ahead. I can't go ahead.
No, you're right, though. I just think that it is a hard conversation to talk. You know what I mean? To talk about. I have experience. I've dated women with kids. I've been in their lives. And you know what I mean? I bought sneakers, paid for summer camps and stuff like that. Show people how to do. I don't hear from them now. I don't get a call from them. Birthdays, don't get a call from them. I don't get no presents, no anything. And some people, and here's the funny thing is, when I mention that, you'll hear a woman in the background say, "What, you want a cookie for that?"
Well, that's what Chris Rock said, right? That's one of his jokes about the father who just say, "Well, I am being a father." That's it. So it's like men need to just sit back, suffer, and shut up.
I would say this, Hakeem. Go back to you when you say you dated women that's that had single baby mothers and everything. Do you think it would change? Let's say Chaos Culture Radio, we were big success and everything, and we're we got 100,000 subscribers. We're doing good on here, Rumble and everything, and they see you a lot. Do you feel like they'll come back at you and say, "Hey, big head," to you?
Nope. I wouldn't even get a call from them now. Because you got to understand something. If they don't see you as and I'm not saying that everybody's like this, if they don't have an invested interest in you, and this is what the problem, it is the image. It is what they've been promoted to view us as. And that's the people who are we are in their lives. You have to look at us as some sort of value. And this is why I think it plays a point on how the kids are being raised, what they're being taught, and the women who are with, how do they value their men? Do they even consider that? Motivational Vision in the comments said, "I love my stepfather." I didn't even know she had a stepfather. This is the first time I ever heard anybody spoke that before. I rarely ever hear women who mention that they even had a stepfather. Sometimes they're just
shout out to her stepfather. Then that's shout out to her. Shout out to the stepfather.
You see what I'm saying? And listen, I'll give you another example. I have a personal friend who's in the chat. He was a grandfather to some kids. He married a woman, was a grandfather to the kid, and a father to the daughter. As soon as they broke up, they was notified not to even speak to the man anymore. Took the kids out to eat, bought coffee, bought gifts, praying with the kids, teaching the kids about religion, and it was then. So where does this stop? Where does this stop? And then now the red pill comes in, the incels come in, and they say, "Man, they don't respect y'all anyway. Why are you even doing it?" But when the rhetoric start to speak, "Oh, now you hating, you want this and you want that." Black men ain't never had an issue raising other people's kids.
That's the problem. There you go.
You see what I'm saying? And I even point this. We grew up listen, I grew up in the 80s, and you could probably answer this, Nidus. How many men who are older now did not know the man that raised them was not even their father, because the man told the mama, "Don't say nothing. Leave that alone."
A lot of people, a whole bunch of folks. How do you say this? Let's see. Under pressure and scrutiny, you just got to say what you're saying right now, because people won't believe it. Because the story is men just abandon everything; they just leave. Because we take minorities of people and make blanket indictments like that's all. So that's why I think people have to separate certain things. Like when they say stuff like 80% of women sleep with only the top 20% of men. That's nonsense. That don't even make sense. Then how does a homosexual exist? You mean that dude that's in your house with that one Tim on, eating Go-Gurts and playing that PlayStation, ain't sleeping with her? Or is he a part of the top 20% when he broke and he living couch to couch? Why he get more like shine than a man that's actually there doing the right thing, going to work every day, trying sit down with your kids and teach them homework and all that stuff. He's just completely ignored. But this other dude get all the shine. We talk about what we're going to talk about. It's like we only talk about salacious stuff. I don't even hear positive talk, period, really. Because just like we saying this, it's okay to talk about mom did this, that, and the other. And she could be a crack fiend and always was a black queen and she's beyond reproach. But dad can't have no flaws. He didn't make enough money. He could have did some more. He didn't this. He slept with somebody back in 1953. He cheated on me once. It's too much pressure. Everybody else get to be human beings. A man got to be a human doing. If you're not doing some shit for somebody, then you're irrelevant. So you're just utility.
And I was the downfall within our community because our community only focuses on the negative and actually the positive. That's why I spoke that in my earlier monologue. I was saying how it's always important to speak of the good of the father and not the negative of the father. Problem is, my father was in my life for a very long time, and I have other father figure men around me. That's why I'm very well-rounded person, because they are the one that helped me, to teach me, to mold me. That's why I highly respect fathers so much, because I was always raised with them. Now I do have homeboys of mine who never raised with their father. Their father never been in their life. Their father say, forget them. I don't have nothing to do with them. But then they'll have uncles who will make sure they're in school, who will buy them t-shirts, who will buy them whatever they need. But then they disrespect that man. And I never understand that. I be like, dude, those be the same guys that was there for you from the get-go. Your father left. He abandoned you, but they took on the role of father figure. But yeah, you disrespect the man. No, because he's not my real dad. Because something the mother has feed into the child's thought. Now, not every mother do that, but there is someone that does do that. Like, man, your father ain't S. Your father doesn't do anything. He just sleep around with Keisha down the street. That's all he do. That's the issue we have.
Yeah, that's a societal norm, right? So
Correct.
all of us have heard, and we don't even know each other. We can be from a bunch of different states.
Yeah.
N-words ain't ish.
Yep.
That probably was the first thing you heard when you was younger. So you're already being groomed to hate yourself. So that's why it's so easy for these youngsters to go out here with these switches and get busy, because why would they respect the man when the man is constantly being disrespected since they was a child? So even though that coach is helping you, you feel like, well, that ain't my daddy. That's what you just said. Even though your uncles is helping you, well, you ain't my daddy. Okay, so if your daddy was there, you would act, no, you're not. You're going to buck up in your daddy face. And he probably going to have to put hands on you, whatever else. And you might overreact because of the climate that we in. People, I don't understand why it gets this complicated. So what I was doing for a couple of months, I stopped doing it probably maybe a week or two ago. I would begin my show playing a clip of the Willie Lynch letter, where they said they would take the black man, tied, rope to both his legs, rip him apart in public to the woman, and she had changed her nature. She would become the masculine one, and then she would raise her daughters to be independent and masculine, and raise her sons to be physically strong but mentally weak. Nobody even paid attention to my intro. I used to play my regular intro, which starts off with Ultra Instinct, that's followed by Parliament Funkadelic, because that little part right there says, when you're taking every kind of pill, and neither one of them motherfuckers seem to cure your ills. That's my response to this red pill, blue pill, all these pills. I don't necessarily know what that's all about. I understand it's a black pill and a purple pill, so a lot of pills. We that's that. Then that's followed by Mo 3, Everybody Ain't Your Friend, which is then followed by Scarface saying, you just want to point your effing finger at me, I'm the bad guy, which ends with I'm trying, which is a speech that Samuel Jackson gave in Pulp Fiction. That's the beginning. My intro is that. All them things clipped together. Nobody pays attention to the intro. I do a whole almost monologue explaining a lot of this stuff we talking about here. Nobody pays it. They just wait until the link gets dropped and they can get on the panel and start arguing at each other. So it doesn't, it matters to me, but it's like 60 or 70 videos. One is talking about, have you paid attention to her lately? I might miss up the name, but that's talking about like these women that's going to these hospitals without black doctors, so they're not understanding that they actually in physical pain because they think black people have a higher threshold level of pain. And then people will come over there and talk to me about a joke I made 2 months ago that they holding on to. So I don't necessarily know what to do. All we can do as black men is try to celebrate people like JP who got all his kids and taking care of them, and the other fathers in these spaces that we know, acknowledge them, because ain't nobody else gonna do it.
Yeah, Harris Media Group. What's the our brother the Truth? What his name is?
Truth and Purpose Nexus.
True. Yeah.
Truth and Purpose Nexus.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you're right. And you funny is right. I just think that you know, there was a young brother one time who was on the panel one time, and I was on TikTok, where he came on there. He was a little bit like 18. He said, none of us ain't gonna get nowhere because we all can't agree on nothing. Everybody got their own agenda. And it was so crazy because I'm twice as old as him, but he conceptualized that and put that in. And I say now, you mentioned something too that I want to point out. Violence in America has gotten to a point where it's so bad and it's so extreme. These guys are playing with switches and guns. The role of a black father is more important now than it ever needed to be before. If we talking about they're not there at all. But when we start to speak that, the only person they say we can blame is us for not being there. Is y'all the fault, y'all the reason. I say this is a multi-layered situation. We need to work with our women, the women that belongs to us, to get to a common ground and start to acknowledge what's going on and start to maybe make decisions that's going to be beneficial for the collective. You know what I'm trying to say? And this is why when people start talking about other races, you know what I mean, other races don't have these intense conversations like, oh, there's a lack of fatherhood in there. I never heard about no Mexicans doing that.
I can't do me a favor. Highlight that comment from Denise. You see it?
You mean Dennis?
Dennis? See, I don't know. That's a woman name is a guy name, but this is a prime. I want Hakeem to highlight this because this is a prime example. See how we having a serious conversation about manhood, about how can we better the community as fathers, or how can, especially me, I want to be a father someday. You'll have someone like this, Dennis, to come in the comment and say, "You suck.
You suck."
That's what I'm saying. Our people are sick, and then they get mad and see why the benefit of what's going on in the community. Now they see why what's going down in Memphis, Tennessee. You have black young teenagers going over there rioting and think they running the whole city.
And the thing is, when she say you suck, it's want to start some drama, so we go back at that, because as a black community, we love drama. Drama is our number one thing. We monetize off of drama. We see this on social media. We see this on TV show. We like the two people we see it on is Krishan Rock and Blueface. You know, Hollywood and a lot, you know, promote the hell out of it. You know, with Zeus and the Zeus Network, which, you know, I do not like Zeus Network. You know, they need to be banned because they are really monetizing of black drama and fighting and everything. And you know, and the thing is, it's like, you know, I don't know how we can, you know, unchange that of us like the drama, because it's like we're born into it. Black people are born into seeing drama. We're like born and we see it, you know, especially in families, especially in communities, in the hoods and everything. Either you in Alley Path, Overtown, or here in LA, if you're in Compton, South Central, or Michigan, in Detroit, or Philly, or, you know, New York, in the Bronx, or some parts in Brooklyn. You know, we're just born into this drama, and we live in the drama, and we see ourselves as, hey, if I was born into this is what I'm supposed to do, is just start drama, start fighting, you know, start, you know, cussing out people, black men, black women, all that type of stuff, and that's right there is just that's a killer right there in our community.
Don't you think that's social engineering though?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that too. Absolutely.
Each other. We were being programmed to hate our fathers. We were being programmed to just love our mothers. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
But my mother could be a dope fiend, like you said, and I go over there, man, give her on Mother's Day, give her the world. But yeah, I have a father at home that literally cook me breakfast, do my hair, because there's some fathers that actually do their kids' hair, and they don't get no respect. It's crazy. They always say we are a sick individual, and that's why I'm glad Hakeem highlighted that comment so people can see how sick we are. Go ahead.
Oh, look, this is another person comment. LOL, face red, droopy eyes, face red, droopy eyes, face red, droopy eyes.
That's a emoji. They describing the emoji.
Oh,
It's an emoji.
He says, we can make more excuses, though, brother. Yeah.
We got what's it? Nell just what's she?
Cynthia G forces have entered from Eritrea.
Is that where's that at? Where's that at?
That's on your channel, Jordan. Those are
Wait a minute, time out.
Africa,
wait a minute, I gotta do. Hold on, time out.
you
What
got
is this all
Nagus,
about?
Afro,
I don't
Dane dolls.
it's Jordan's followers.
He said, "What's up?"
I got it.
KKK Keisha's Nagas.
This is the Dark Heat channel. Like I'm saying, those from Jordan channel.
Yeah, you see.
Play that.
You know what I mean?
See,
Hate is everywhere, but we're not going to stop doing the work. We're not going to stop doing the work because this ain't for everybody. There's a lot of people who ain't going to be able to come on this ship with us, and some of y'all going to have to drown.
And I want them to drown.
Basically,
drown. We have to get rid of the bad stain of the black community and bring in the good light of the black community. Because some of these people, now don't get me wrong, I highly respect Cynthia G. Some of the stuff she's saying are facts. I'm not going against the data, whatever the data say. I see it for face value. However, there is some women that are out here. Their plain agenda is to destroy black fathers who are actually doing the work. Those the women I'm going against, not the one that's pretty much showing the father that ain't doing crap. Go ahead, Nighty.
Yeah, I think it's a social engineering. I think when we understand the Willie Lynch letter was supposed to be crafted in the 1800s, 1700s, that's something that's always been around. And when you have people say stuff like, N words ain't ish, and you hear that your whole childhood, yeah, you're already being set up for that. And as you look at these spaces nowadays, I think like they say, if they have a cold, we have pneumonia. So they going through stuff with white women, and that was the beginning of the suffragette movement and feminism and all that stuff. So you can kind of understand the first wave feminism because they couldn't vote and all this, that, and the other. But the white man is mad now at his woman. So now you're repealing a bunch of that stuff. So now what's going to happen? When you get the Me Too movement, now the dudes are like, well, I don't feel comfortable with women being around me at the job. Then they then took away Roe v. Wade. They starting to change little laws here and there. So the pendulum swung too far that way. Now they might be swinging it too far this way. And what you're going to have is a bunch of angry people protesting and fighting about it. Because maybe a few years ago, they were saying these women got too much power, too many rights. So that white man response is, okay, they got too much power and too many rights. So now they swing it this way. And now AI is coming to take away, the kind of easier jobs. So people are not going to have a whole lot of work. So it's like it is looking like the 80s. It wasn't no work in the 80s. That's why it was so easy for people to get caught up in that game.
No, that's facts. Yeah, don't mind the trolls. The trolls, she lucky. I'm not on. She lucky. She on a. I'll be very respectful here.
Let me see if I can stop that because that's not.
Yeah, I had to time her out on my channel, and then she went back on the channel.
No, we come from a space, so she would have had it, but we keeping it clean.
Oh, she followed you from your page.
No,
yeah, from my channel. She was on my channel, and I timed her out. Now she's on the Chaos Coast Radio channel.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we'll let the chat be the chat. We're not gonna highlight her comments, but this is the problem. This is the problem within our community, right here. We're not gonna highlight it, but we have women. Their whole agenda is like, because they bitter, they hurt, they've been abused.
Well, actually, he's a he. He's a he. Just to let you know, he's a he.
He's a he.
Yeah, he's a he.
Like those men.
Thank you, Natasha.
They probably homeless on the street somewhere. Like we don't want to pay attention to those type of goofy. But go ahead, Hiking.
Mm.
Go ahead. Yeah, don't let the trolls mess you up, man. Me
Yeah,
and I,
Natasha here. She'll take care of it.
Yeah, somebody out there with a wrench got to stop her.
Yeah.
well, that mean we prime time.
Well, at least it ain't
Shout
none of
out
my
to
trolls over here.
Go ahead, Akeem. Go ahead.
I want to mention. I want to give a shout out to. Shout outs to Jess J. Shout outs to PJ Austin. I love you, my brother. Always support us. Shout outs to the Queen, Natasha Vincent. Shout outs to. Now, I want to mention Chocolate Earth Foundation. I had a conversation with her the other day. Huh?
Barry White. Hold on a minute.
Hmm?
White's in here.
Barry White. Shout outs to the Queen, Barry White. She mentioned a comment that Dope Fiend, Stranger, and many others made an effort when your other parent never did. I don't understand what she meant by that.
Those were probably the people that was left around, depending on whatever time she was born in. So people, like when you think about the Afeni remark, that was the parent that was there, even though she did have a drug problem and they fought for a little while. She was a parent that was there. So that's my point. See, that's okay, right? But if you had a father that's a drunk, but he was there, he was a drunk.
Yeah.
But if you got the woman is the crack fiend, she still stay the black queen. The man is a drunk. He's not still my father, just that drinks. That's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
She's on your page now, Ronnie. He's on your page now, Ronnie, just to let you know.
No, he can stay there. I'm about to go in on him, but go ahead. He can
stay
there.
So I was talking to Chocolate Earth Foundation, and we was talking about building families and building a community of love, and about how we just need to change the way we think on how we approach family and a community aspect, because the way we think about it now is not even working. And I mentioned, I say, the only way we can look at a good template, we already understand what family is. We've been done that years ago, but we just need to reach back into that and look at other cultures to see how they approach it. You know what I mean? And instead of us keep getting into the narrative of just talking about it, we need to come together as a family. You know what I mean? We need to look at the diaspora, people from overseas in countries where they practice a whole community aspect of stuff. When you're part of a tribe, regardless if you're 30 miles away, that person will still send money back to make sure the tribe is okay. You know what I mean? A lot of us going to have to start shacking up with each other. More 2 or 3 families might have to move in one house or one community. We have Hispanics who do this in Miami every day. 3 generations all in one house. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It can't be the issue with the grandmothers always have to take care of the child when everybody can play a role. And that's the thing. We have to change the way we think.
I don't think we're going back. I think tradition is over with. Everybody's modern. So, I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. They ain't going. Listen, they looking at stepdaddies as, I got to be honest, because I'm up here with Ronnie. Dinner nigga, nail nigga, wig nigga. That's your name in the phone. You a good guy and everything else, but they don't like good guys. They just run over them. Unfortunately, that's where we at. Why would she listen to you when she got an Instagram and she got a OnlyFans and there's 15 dudes in there buying fart in jars and nasty panties? You got to understand where we at right now. The 80s was the me era, but they didn't have no OnlyFans. They didn't have no MySpace and Black Book and Craigslist, and a girl would get a cam and just set it on her right by her bed, and all she's doing is like cutting her toenails and mailing you the trimmings. Why would she go back to listening to one man that's going to like try to guide her? That's the problem. The problem is dudes are willing to be worker bees. So why would she ever listen to one dude, even if his money is together? She can get groupies. unfortunately, and she don't have to have no talent at all. Because to this day, I do not know what Kim Kardashian does.
Me either.
Me either.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah. For all these years, we still don't know. I'm
We
sorry.
still don't know.
It's still a head scratcher.
Businesses though. I think she have a clothing line. I think.
Yeah, but she has a
famous.
clothing line from nothing. She
Yeah.
is Robert Kardashian's daughter, and he left a bunch of money, and she just has a mother who's a good so-called business person, but really, so, and that's what I mean by family. I'm in a family, but in my marriage, it was a democracy. I wasn't a dictator in my marriage. I didn't have more money than my wife. Her family, she had generational wealth. When her mother passed, she left the house. So we got all the access to having financial stability. But if somebody has so-called shopping therapy, likes to take vacations and do all that stuff, and how you gonna tell that person they can't do it when they're the one with the money?
Yep.
So that's the dynamic. When you had a dynamic that the money is the dictator versus who makes the best financial decisions, then that is what that is. But me personally, I don't think we have to fight about it. If we're going to go down and go broke because one of us makes the decision to do these things, when we go down and go broke, here's the only problem. It's going to be the man's fault. So since we know it's going to be the man's fault, that's why we say you maybe should listen to the man and pick the proper man. But I was just on a panel earlier today talking to somebody I'm cool with, no negative, no smoke. I don't really like to talk about people, but I like to talk about their ideas. The idea is I'm just trying to find some good dick on a man that look good to me. And then we'll figure out if he a daddy and whatever else later on. But first and foremost, is he 6 foot tall with big shoulders and he got a package on him and how to blow my mind. Then we'll figure out how to get him employed and how to get him to be a leader. And no, he either is one or he is not one. And then you flip it the other way around. A lot of these dudes, ass and titties. I can't think right because this head is not functioning because all the blood is somewhere else. So we all do impulsive, in the moment, crazy stuff. And I don't be trying to be funny, but it's insane, but it just sounds funny. But that's what we out here doing. I call it hate fucking. You don't respect that lady or nothing else. She just bad. She look good. You don't respect that man or nothing else. He just look good. He turns on you carnally. So it's hedonism. And we just out here banging. And the outcome is, I really don't like you. We don't like me. That's why we fighting all the time, because it's all surface level shit. He had a nice car. He took me some cool places. You're not describing that man's character. You're describing things. Oh, man, she got an ugly face, but she got an ass on her. You, once again, aren't describing character either. You're describing physicality. So when do we get mentally in the right place and understand that maybe we need to be messing with some 5s and 6s because these 7s and up is out of their damn mind because they already have value because of their looks. And then the dude with money is like a bad bitch because his money make him a bad bitch. I got the cars, I got the money. Yeah, I just don't mess with any old bitch. He might as well be catching dreams while he's saying that. I don't care about you being in frames and all this shit, these pills and rational male books and all this other shit it's talking about. Are you him or not?
Facts. Boy, now you dropping the gem. Hey, PJ, what's going on, big dog? Yeah, but hey, you dropping gems, though. I ain't gonna lie, you dropping gems. Oh, man. Go ahead, Akeem. Go ahead.
You say, in this day and age, you have to align yourself with people who align with your morals, values, and go from there. Nobody can come along. PJ, you spot on. I wanted to highlight what Aaron W. said earlier. He said we're not supposed to look at other cultures. We have the blueprint. We should use them. We do have the blueprint, and I mentioned that, but we're not utilizing it. We don't even want to go back there. We have tons of videos on YouTube talking about how great we was or how we was the pillar of the community, but we're not doing that now. Minister Farrakhan, Louis Farrakhan has a video on YouTube called "The Role of the Black Father" from 1974, where he said the man is the representation of God to the family.
Yeah,
that God has son.
lecture. That was a good lecture.
And you know what I mean? And if the kids want to
But
see
Minister
what
Farrakhan's 80.
Yeah.
I know, I know that, but
And that's what I'm saying. We're not going back to tradition.
and
We understand how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to be God,
yeah,
man, the
man.
woman, and children. We understand that. And it's a bunch of women faking in church with them high ass skirts on, they real tight, sitting in the front row, and the preacher might be sleeping with 4 or 5 of them. This is just our reality. It sounds funny when I say it, but it's just real. We see the choir director clapping in the sea. So what happened to the church? It's like laughable. It's like a minstrel show. That's why men left the church. Because I don't want you sleeping with my wife and that dude over there clapping with his seed. I don't know what's going on with him. So they just said, okay, we're going to leave that alone. So now they informs a religion that seem like gangs almost. You see them, they impact, they yelling real hard, and somebody behind them doing like the James Brown thing. He reading 2 or 3 scriptures, and the brother behind him go, yeah, read it again, brother. And they yelling at people and pointing at people. And I'm like, you mean they dress like the Soul Sonic Force? I'm not trying to disrespect them, but I don't.
You talking about the Israelite brothers?
I mean, they women gonna listen to them because what other choice you gonna have? It's pretty, you know. This is what it is, sister. And you don't believe me? They throw that book down in front of her and go, read this chapter in this verse. And if
that's true,
what with it?
It's funny, but it's true. I'm not trying to lie, but not speaking truth.
Yeah, let's highlight this Twitch. So shout outs to the Twitch, the people watching us from Twitch. He said, I come from a completely different world to you guys, but I thought I'll pop in and see what happening if that's cool. Most definitely, Helicon 73. Hey, it's all family here. Welcome. Tell everybody to come. We hanging out having good conversation.
Yeah. Even we welcome the trolls too. We welcome the trolls.
Yeah.
Troll was just way too hardcore, but don't worry. They're gonna fall in love with chaos. Don't worry. That's welcome to chaos. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I know we only got a few minutes left, but I think it's very important for us to pretty much have these type of conversations because it's not being had. And I think that's why we in the predicament that we in now. Now there's some, I ain't gonna lie, there's some sharp brothers in the that's Muslim, in the Nation of Islam, that's Christian, that also in Judaism and stuff like that are teaching men on the importance of being a father, and not only that, but also how to mold your women so she can be also a great mother to your child. So, but the more we have conversations like this, night, Jordan and Hakeem, I think this the only way it's going to better our community. And not only that, but also being proactive within the community as well. Hakeem actually go to youth events where he go and teach kids, mentor kids as well. People don't know that. Me, Hakeem, I like Hakeem like a father figure. He 90s, he knew me since I was like this high. Whole family. So it is what it is. And Jordan probably have stories as well how his uncle came in his life, show him the roles of father figures. So that's what I'm saying. There is good.
And also I'm gonna be a father soon too. Let the chest know I'm gonna be a father soon, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
congratulations,
congratulations, brother. And he's married.
He ain't gonna tell nobody yet. He's having his first child. We want to keep it a secret, but he let the Chaos Culture Radio family know he's having the first child. So I congratulate him. He's nervous. He's sweating, but you know, it's a good feeling for a father to be a father. You know, that's the most blessing in life. Yeah, everybody can clap.
Hope you have success and all of that.
You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
But yeah, those people is going to be a small group, and they're going to have to find like-minded people to support them, to encourage them to stay there, because society is laughing at tradition. Society is at a war with the nuclear family. They're telling you every day in your face. They when they make all these laws and talk about the so-called freedoms, no, it's an attack on families. So when they're telling you your kid is a certain age, you can't discipline them. The school got LGBT and critical race theory and all this other stuff. I think some people say they tired of seeing slave movies and they tired of seeing symbols of that stuff. But the other communities say never forget, right? And we should never forget exactly who we are. And then you got to understand when it's facing a crowd type people that are just really agitators. Because when I hear stuff like, you know, we are individual set of people and we need a certain individual set of things. That argument to me only applies when it's talking about reparations. Outside of that, why am I not supposed to get along with a Haitian? Why am I not supposed to get along with a Jamaican? Why am I not supposed to get along with a Dominican? They tell them that they tethers because from that movie Us, right? They look like us, but they're not us. However, we're such a small group. I don't think that we should be in the mindset of making ourselves even smaller. And the discussion should be that only applies when it comes to reparations. You should get reparations from your place and whatever else. That's the only place that applies. Other than that, we should be working together. Even though we hear the stuff that comes from the other side too. They got their names for us too. So when they say we're saying this, so then y'all say we are kata and all these other different things. So we got to find a way to stop fighting and warring with each other and try to be collective in certain spaces. And then the other thing we do is this damn liberal versus conservative argument. So I got to dislike Candace Owens because she got a white man or thinks conservatively, or I'm supposed to dislike a liberal person because no, you black.
Man, you jumping gym night.
He's going in. Cook. Let him cook.
I ain't say nothing. I'm letting him cook. But what you got whooping in the kitchen night is, man, you cooking.
Headlicon 73 said the guy in the hat says sage words. I don't know what that means.
Oh, you talking about 90?
Sage is an old wise man.
Think.
Yeah, man. 90, you have everybody speechless, man.
I'm actually listen. A man with wisdom is always gonna drop some bombs on him, and it's good to listen. And we.
That's what another thing I'm gonna ask 90. What's your thoughts on the how this young generation don't respect OG like yourself?
Well, some of us is fools, and some of us did some betrayal type stuff. So when you had a big homie give everything to the little homie because he's trying not to go back to jail. So he's going to put it all on a little homie because they think they're going to be lenient on him. And then that guy is 13 to 14, maybe even younger, going to get the whatever. And then that young man goes to jail and get back out when he's 20-something. Well, he don't like older dudes no more. They're not feeling the big homie no more, a lot of them, unless the big homie is strong and they can't really do nothing to him. So the reason we had these dislikes for us is based in some real stuff, but they do a broad stroke with it. They say all OGs. No, some of them no. For sure, some of them. Like when they had the attack, when they was talking to me about Gen X. Now, first off the top of my head, I'm thinking, well, I don't have no generational wealth. My father wasn't really around me. Wasn't no men really around me. It's just my mother around me. So it's mostly women in my life. They got me to this place. And then I had to listen to them though. And their point is, but y'all the ones that sold the dope. Y'all the ones who did this. Y'all the one who got the baby mamas. Y'all the ones who had Freaknik and all this other stuff. So we have to acknowledge that, yeah, that's the truth too. But that wasn't a whole y'all. That was a group that I can acknowledge, yeah, Gen X did do that. Okay, so I'll give you credit for that. So instead of me saying I give advice, I say I give my opinion because they don't want to hear no advice. They want you to, everybody wants everybody to shut up. The OGs want the young kids to shut up. The young kids are sick of listening to these old heads. They're saying it every day in these spaces. So if this is a panel and we're supposed to be up here to talk, you constantly hear people go, excuse me, do you mind if I ask you this question? What are we up here for if we're not supposed to be talking? And if you say something I don't like, then, you know, they got bounties to drop you, which is cool because this is also supposed to be a business. So I can understand that business model. It's a lot of powerless people jockeying for power, but you don't have the outcomes or the work to be able to speak. So when we think about certain people, we can give Farrakhan a certain amount of credit for certain things, but he has his asterisks on his name.
Mm-hmm.
So all these people that you would think, okay, we could talk about this. No, can't talk about Jesse Jackson. No, we can't talk about Farrakhan because every one of them got something tied to them that's supposed to diminish all that work they've done for over all this time. But I know for a fact when I look at the damn MGT and I look at the FOI, those people do have some solid stuff that's holding them together. They do reform a lot of men. Now, I don't care if he's still a criminal, because we do need men that's ready for war. They just need the proper guidance. And our problem seems to be we just so fragmented for legitimate reasons, but we got to find some common ground. But time is running out.
Man, Niners, you cooking.
You cooking.
Boy.
Let him cook.
Helicon.
Go ahead.
Look it. Go ahead, Hakeem.
He said Helicon Nidish. Helicon 73 say Nidish. I'm 49. You may be a bit older than me, but we have to teach the young ones a better way to live their lives, regardless of your creed, color, or beliefs.
Whew.
If they're receptive.
Go ahead, Nidish. Go ahead.
If the kids are receptive, if people in general are receptive, people already are ready for the smoke. They already, because you're going to come in sounding like, oh, you know it all, right? And we have an anti-intellectual sentiment about our people too. Oh, you white, you a white boy now. Oh, you an intellectual. Oh, you a book nigga. We find something to fight about all the time. Oh, you light skinned. Oh, you got that good hair.
Yep.
Cool. It's something. That's the Willie Lynch letter.
Yeah.
Man, Nidish, you cooking. But Nidish, of course, we on our way out. Tell the folks how can they find you, how can they reach you, and you already know I'm already subscribed to you. But tell the folks how.
Yeah. I'll be at the Black House. Y'all can just follow me over there.
Nidish is being funny. He has his own YouTube channel. I will put it in the chat.
Yeah, drop his link in the description. Drop his link in the.
I dropped it, and also I will tag him in this video. But Nidish, you already know, man. I appreciate you, man. I love you, man. That's why I said Nidish know I ever with Nidish, because Nidish he dropped gems over there. Like if I ain't really don't have nothing to do, I promise you, on a late night, he be going in. Like he be having really dope conversations. I be in the chat. I be in the clouds. I be at work, but he got a lot of wisdom. He got a lot of wisdom. That's why I don't.
Hey, don't forget to see that picture that's floating around online with me sleep with my mouth open. It will be coming to somewhere soon. But peace out, y'all. Thanks for having me up.
Thank you for coming, brother. Helicon 73. Helicon 73. We all family here, brother. You a white guy, doesn't matter. We all family here. We just trying to build together so we can stop a lot of bullshit. So we all family here.
And don't feel bad. We have two white guys. Jesse Meow's a white guy.
That's our brother from
we got Flow State. We got Flow State. Just hear me out.
Yo.
Who's the other one? Son Taylor.
Yep.
We got a couple of money up in here. They're helpful.
Facts.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And we got the real Pookie. We don't know what's going on with him.
As we on the road to 1K subscriber, help Nidish get 1K subscriber, guys. Go over there and subscribe to the channel. Just Jay highlighted. I also highlighted as well. And guys, that's why it's so very important to make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember, we do go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Not only that, guys, please make sure you go to KR Culture Radio Community tab. In the Community tab, there's a KR Culture Radio t-shirt. And also Prince Hakeem new book, Black Love. Come over here and support the platform, because we also on our way to 1K subscribers with you guys help.
Yep.
Reach that goal. Like always, thank you for tuning in to KR Culture Radio. Enjoy your weekend. Shout out to JP. Shout out to Barry White. Shout out to Jess J. Shout out to Liberated Soul, Kendall, Natasha Vision, Motivating Vision. Of course, shout out to Nidish as well. Shout out to who else was here? It was Fresh Town, Florida, Kendall, Urban Noise,
Sugar Bomb, as always.
Shout out to Sugar Bomb. I was well behaved today. I'm shocked.
This is multiple days too, Ronnie. Last time I don't know what's going on with Sugar Bomb, but she's been lovely coming in to the chat.
Shout out to the trolls, because y'all don't understand. Y'all viewership really help us out a lot. So shout out to you guys too. Shout out to those that's watching on Facebook, Instagram, and also Twitch. Shout out to you guys as well. Like always, guys, enjoy your weekend. Congratulations, Jordan. He's having his first child. Be safe. Nidish, be safe. You know, I see you on the other side. Enjoy your weekends, guys. Be over and out.
Peace.
Peace.